In today's video, I'm going to show you how to get 10 local service-based customers in the quickest time possible, and literally, this is what I would do. So first things first is you want to come up with a lucrative offer, which is a free, tangible service to the homeowner for free. Now, if you were doing solar, for example, what I would do is a completely free home solar suitability check or energy assessment with no pitches promised. What this includes roof suitability inspection, energy usage review, ballpark savings estimate. Normally £150 offered for free for a limited time, right? Next up, what I would do is I would get as many people as possible who I know locally, maybe a little bit younger, who want to earn a bit of money. And I would say, look, you knock on doors in this area using this exact script. We're offering a free energy assessment for the suitability of solar. There's going to be no pitches involved. Are you interested? I would offer them £30 per one of those that I managed to go to the home and basically get a quotation in for. Maybe even £50, maybe even £100, depending on what I can sort of incentivize them to do. So maybe up to £75 would be the maximum that I would do for that. And I would basically just get door canvassers doing that on a pure performance basis. Now, it's not hard to do this. You just need the perspective to be able to offer that to people. From there, I would also make it very clear that I've got a referral scheme doing the same thing. So I would offer £50 for one of those home surveys as well, or £100 to homeowners who know other homeowners who would do it. And the way that I'd reach out for that is I would go on Facebook groups, local Facebook groups. You search up an area and then look on the Facebook group section. You'll have loads on there that you can look at. Just join all of them, add in the questions, that sort of thing. And then basically just start going through them and start posting on them, adding every single person from them. And then if you want to do the Instagram version as well, what I would look to do is I would look for local pubs or local restaurants, look at the Instagrams of those, and I would start adding people from those. But it's really important that you make sure it's a local place. So like say in a village, right? The village local pubs Instagram. There, you know that the people who are following that are all going to be local, which is good because you want to keep it in a good sort of radius. So from there, I would start messaging them about the referral. We're offering a free home eligibility for solar. And then, just to see what the savings could potentially look like, see if your home is suitable, see if your home is energy efficient, that sort of thing. And I would take that approach. If you're offering a different service, then you could offer like a free window clean, or if it's just home improvements, I would just go in with like a free window clean just to get the information from the customer. And what we're doing here is we're basically just building a list of really high quality prospects that we can reach out to a lot later down the line. So what this person's going to be doing each day is they're going to be knocking on the doors, canvassing. Would you look at like a free energy assessment? Would you like a free suitability assessment? I would test what works the best. And then I would also offer them referrals as well. So I'd say, if they're not interested, okay, would you be open to a £75 referral for anyone who you do know who might be able to do it? And then they might refer you 5 people, and then they can earn like 400 quid or whatever. And you've obviously got 5 site surveys or 7 site surveys from people who are actually interested. Now, the important thing here is the people need to be qualified before you go to the site survey. So what does that mean? That means that you need to check that they are actually the homeowner. Basically, you just need to make sure that they're the type of person who is likely to go ahead with the service or is able to go ahead with the service, the higher ticket service, based on the lower ticket that you're going in with for free. So you don't want to do any of the free assessments or free services to anyone who can't get on the higher ticket thing. So this is all about basically paying with time or money to acquire a customer. Yeah, so you've got the referral scheme going, you've got the door canvassers who are working on a pure performance basis, maybe £75. I know when I was labouring, I did a labouring day when I was younger, and someone incentivized me with they basically paid me £50 at the end of the day for a full day of work. I was putting in loads of work, and they gave me £50 at the end of the day, and I was so happy. So if you can get a younger lad, or woman who wants to, go door canvassing for £75 or £50 per person who wants a free assessment, all you need to do is get their phone number. You can get yourself to give them a call and then book in to go for a time, and then they would get paid from that. If I was younger and I was incentivized by that, I would be doing that all day. So if you can get loads of people doing that, you're on to an absolute winner. But it's just about finding people who will do that. So you want to be leveraging referrals from the local neighborhood, and you also want to be leveraging people who has doors around them, and they can just go and knock on some doors and maybe make some money, just in the local area. So I would definitely I'd be looking for both. Next of all, I would be looking for appointment setters. So go onto LinkedIn, search up appointment setters. I'd start adding the maximum amount of connections on LinkedIn every single week. That resets every Monday for appointment setters. So I'd be like, okay, appointment setter, search them up. I'd start messaging them, and you need to, the key to this is coming up with a lucrative offer beforehand. So a lot of these companies, they work with lead generators and stuff like that, and they never really work on a long-term basis because they can't really find a way to incentivize the lead generator to work with them, on that basis. So what I would find is someone who has a small company, or maybe just has very little clients, and I would basically offer them, look, I can give you £50 per site booking that you get me here. We're offering this, which is a very lucrative free assessment for you to basically build a relationship with the customer in person. And I would incentivize as many lead generators as you can, or people who are trying to get into appointment setting, that sort of thing. There's so many people online that you can find to do this. It's actually a joke. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, search up appointment setters, message them with this lucrative offer, and you'll get people in no time. So door canvassers, virtual appointment setters, and referrers who potentially could be customers as well. So you would ask all the people that you go to site assessments for referrals as well for money. And then from there, you would start to accumulate a list of people, right? From there, you can basically start building relationships by going to do site visits and stuff like that. You would then ask them at the end of the site survey or site assessment if they're open to a free quotation, and you think that they could potentially have be cash flow positive from day one. This is if you're doing solar, right? And the way that you would be able to achieve this is by going to a third-party finance provider. So there's third-party finance providers such as like Can Do Finance, and there's loads of ones for solar because it's an ROI, it's a return on investment. So, and a lot of solar companies offer this themselves. So you might already know people, but essentially, you want to make sure you have flexible payment options for your customers. This is so crucial, because if they know that they can delay the payments, spread it out, but they see the value in the service that you're providing, then people will be much more likely to go ahead with you. So make sure you're working with a third-party payment provider. They will take on the risk. You get all of it up front. And then that way, you can potentially offer an option to your customer where they're cash flow positive on their solar system from day one, and that will perk their ears up. After you built the relationship with them, they now trust you. You then say, oh, do you know what? I think you could potentially be eligible for our cash flow positive from day one program with the solar. I'm not 100% sure we could do that yet. Would you be open to us checking this out for you to see if we can do it with a quotation? You would then go do that. And then when you come back to them with that cash flow positive thing, and then you've already looked at their property, you sell them the long-term benefit, you will start to get loads of customers start rolling through. And from there, you can then basically ask them for referrals for people who might be interested. You can also use that social proof. So once you get a few customers or any customers, you want to get them to leave a review first and foremost. Once the installation's done, you would say, do you mind if we do some filming on the roof? You would get some filming. I'll get a DJI Mini film drone, which is about 250 quid. I'll get a DJI Mini drone, make sure you get some drone shots of the roof, that sort of thing. And then I will also film an interview with the homeowner if possible, so that they can talk about the benefits that they see with the system. And then from there, you can basically share the social proof to all the Facebook groups. You'll get more customers from that. People will refer you. And from there, once you get a bit of cash in, what I'll then start to do is I'll then start to invest in ads for this free assessment or free service that you do. And then from there, you can start acquiring customers for very cheap, maybe 20 or 30 pounds. scale that up, and then bang, all of a sudden you've got a fully fledged lead generation system. Which all started from you invest in time initially, and then into you invest in cash. So that's it for today. If you have any questions around any of the parts that I mentioned today, feel free to hit me up. But that's how I would get 10 local service-based customers in the quickest time possible.